And that call to God that went on 5 times a day. Let us keep God right there. You know, we can't worship God, or however you define God. You can't worship, remember, pray, praise, be grateful, you know, once a week. This is a reminder to be within us every moment of the day, to the degree that we can keep that in front of us. And that's what the calling did for me.
I guess as an American thought, mosques are these real big places like the Hagia Sophia, and we saw that, you know, and we saw these big the blue mosque and these big mosques. This mosque was this little thing, you know, that would fit maybe 20 people, and it was very, very humble in there, very humble, and this was a very poor part of the country, and I was moved by that. I was moved by even in this small, out of the way place in a poor part of the country, there's this place of worship that, in the eyes of the worshipers, has every bit of as much as importance as the Hagia Sophia, you know, and I was impressed by that, moved by that, really.
I went to the first mosque that I had ever entered when we went to Izmir, and to watch the men praying. I was upstairs because I'm a woman. When I first saw the men praying, it brought tears to my eyes. I was not prepared to see what I saw.
I lived in Germany for 4 years. I've been all over Europe. I've seen the most beautiful cathedrals in the world. I've looked at the rose window of Notre Dame, of the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris, the Cathedral of Chartres, the Dome of Bamberg. I've never seen such beauty. I've never seen such architecture as the Blue Mosque. When I went in the Blue Mosque and took off my shoes, what could I do but pray?
The trip had a very rigid and heavy schedule, and it was confined to 10 days. They were going to try to visit all significant places in Anatolia that are considered holy by Abrahamic religions. And they did. One of the guests joked that Turks knew how to eat, but they didn't know how to sleep. The group set off at dawn every day, but nobody complained, because there was so much to see in this land. And not only things of the past, but also of today, and even tomorrow. The American guests, who traveled around Anatolia inch by inch, from Urfa to Konya, from Izmir to Istanbul, frequently stopped by to see the schools which diligently worked to serve the people. Almost every child they saw approached them, trying to speak to them with their limited English. The brilliance that shone in the eyes of these kids deeply impressed the guests.
I went to these schools in Turkey, and they were the dream schools that I had fantasized about starting myself. We would go into the schools, and the kids were happy, they were friendly, they were polite, and they were eager to engage, to talk. I couldn't spend enough time with them. I wanted to talk to all of the kids. They they seem so thrilled to see us. At the elementary schools, I mean, these kids were so joyful. They were giggling and having, sometimes racing through the hallways. They're obviously very happy children. And when you can keep education and a child's enthusiasm and happiness and joy, when that can blend, boy, that's a real ideal.
But we had a great conversation, as much as we could understand. I saw in their face joy. I saw in their face happiness. I saw a great deal of energy and vitality. I saw a great deal of desire to want to reach out to know us as we were reaching out to know them.
They carry something in them already, and learning beneath that what it is that they carry is a set of values, a set of morals, of behavior that are about life, that are very lively, but that are also at the same time courteous and thoughtful and generous and humorous.
It seems very obvious that the way these children are being taught, that they're going to have a much better opportunity and a much stronger desire to live and be with all of the children in such a shrinking world where everybody is going to be living closer together. And this is going to help enormously in establishing peace among all people.
The group was trying to find out what made these schools different from other schools, and these children with a light in their eyes different from other children. Most of them had spent years in education, but they had never encountered such a fine profile before. The difference stemmed from the concept of education in these schools, and of course, within this concept, teachers who educate their students with a spirit of dedication, and who try to live out and model the truth to their students rather than just talk about it.
And what we began to realize is their teachers model to them how to be. So while they're having things put in their heads, math and science and languages, they're also having values put into their souls. And those values promote these superhuman beings, in the sense of human beings that are going to go out and live in countries around the world. They'll be educated in schools around, colleges and universities around the world. They'll become professors and teachers and doctors and lawyers and medicine people and corporate people around the world with those values. That, I believe, will change the world. The Glenn schools can change the world. I wish we could plant a few here in America.